Hello everyone, welcome to this interview. I was in Uganda last March. I wanted to know in firsthand how the orphanages are working there, the history of the managers of the orphanages, and also their planning for the future in these centers. I was there with Freida Grayson, who is the interviewer, and I want to introduce her with some words from her directly. Freida Grayson from the state of California is visiting 3 orphanages in Uganda, East Africa, that she sponsored. One in Bujiri, Nalubagwe Children Care Foundation, founded by Omusi Deo. One in Iganga, Smile for All, founded by Nalugoda Edrisa. And one in Kampala, Lord's Glory Children Foundation, founded by Ronald Sesanga. The overall purpose for the trip was to connect with the founders of the orphanages, spend time with the children, and see firsthand the struggles the founders endure to sustain daily basic needs for the children that they care for. When she departed, she understood the desperation of providing a simple plate of food, the importance of educating the children to give them an opportunity for a better life, self-esteem by providing them with proper shoes and clothing, security by ensuring that they have a roof over their heads, a bed and pillow to rest their body and heads at night. And I felt honored and blessed to play a role in making their lives a little better. The love and gratitude that we receive from the children will always put a smile on our face and a joy in our heart.
Good day, viewers. Today we have the opportunity to talk to Edrisa about his orphanage. We're gonna have to cut some of this. About his orphanage, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about himself, his orphanage, and what it takes for it to continue to run successfully, where the kids can be provided with the things that are needed. So Edrisa, tell us about yourself and what it is that you do.
Thank you so much, dear, for this opportunity. And also I thank you very much, dear viewers. My name is Edrisa Nalugoda, and I'm the organizer of an orphanage with the names A Smile for All.
Why did you pick that title, A Smile for All?
Because the major goal of starting that orphanage was to bring smiles, mostly to the street kids, to the orphans, and also kids from very, very poor families, most of which could not even afford meals. So A Smile for All, talking about how it started.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did you become the founder of Street Kid Foundation? How did that come about in your life?
Let me take you down to the beginning of my own life. I grew up with my dad and mom. I studied my primary, but when I was in primary 7, that's when my dad passed away. So then in school, like my mom, my background, I won't say that I was on streets or something, but as my dad died, he left mom with, there was a house, because we were not renting, and there was a small piece of land, because mom could farm to get us what to eat. She was left a single mom, but the major problem was education, and also because my mom didn't study that much, and also the piece of land was not big. It was the source of everything. We had to get food and also education. So starting secondary, time reached when I couldn't afford the school dues. But in school, I was a good performer. Like I was among the best. Like I could have the first, second position. So when time reached when like I could delay sometimes to go to school, like the semester reaches, the term reaches in the middle when I've not attended because I've been sent away for school fees. Like some of the teachers felt concerned, and like some of them started supporting me with some education, with some of the money. Yeah. So like I could, most of the semesters I could like skip. And also I'm going to thank God that I studied and I reached university level. Though it was really hard, but I thank God that I could reach at the last moment, but I could pass my exams and I never repeated any class. But the way God helped me and I survived in that condition, like I know how it feels being there when you don't have especially a father, because I had my mom and we were lacking a lot. So as I grew up, I had like, my dream like was at least to bring a change to people who at least lost a parent. And I said I lost one parent and the situation wasn't good. I could imagine those who lost both the two. And also those living in very poor families, because in the places I live in Uganda, like when you go to the roads, there are many street kids there. And also the thing that sparked off me starting like the orphanage. Actually, I didn't, like at the start, I didn't plan to start the orphanage. Like as I was in school, you know, like we could sleep in school. Can I call it boarding? We could sleep there. So like the meals could be cooked there. But when it reached time for the meals, there were some kids who could come at that moment. Like there could be some leftovers and like the burnt parts of the feeds, like they could pour. The kids could go to the dustbins to pick that food, and some others could be there asking us, like asking everyone, give me some. They didn't have what to eat. So I felt so touched that I reached a time, like completing school, those children, most of them, like I started giving them like some feeds because I could sleep near school. Like time reached when I give them some food, and they got used to me that every meal, like when I'm preparing my breakfast, actually they were 3 at the beginning. Me preparing my breakfast, they could come. Lunch, they could come. It reached a time when it's my obligation, like every day.
Yeah.
And it was an orphanage.
Like you knew that they were going to come breakfast, lunch.
Like I was expecting them, like every day that it reached a time when they are. So some of them actually could sleep on streets. But like my landlord, like we were there, we could pay. Like we were renting, but we could rent like beds.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I felt touched, like I wanted some of them actually to sleep in, like those who didn't have homes. But I couldn't because we pay for a bed, like you don't pay for the room. Yeah. So, like for me, actually what I didn't tell you, among the things that helped me in school, I used to do some artistic things. Like even at some of the schools that I studied, you could see me painting there, and students could wonder, hey, is this a student of this school and is now painting, like printing words and doing what? Like I was an artist, like naturally. I didn't study art that deep. Like even when I reached the university at medical school, most of the times I could even print the shirts that they could put on. And that helped me survive in school. And also time reached and I started the Instagram page. And that was in 2022.
How many, did you have any children at that time?
In July, I'm telling you, they were the 3 kids that could come to my home. So, like I started cooking, like some others, when these ones told others, the number increased from 3. I had to cook something like 3 kilograms because the number was growing.
Yeah.
So I started the Instagram page, like just to show the world what is happening. So time reached, as the number was kind of increasing, it had exceeded 3. Like a meal, they could come like 5. I prepare another meal, I see there are 6. So time reached, like one person saw my posts from the Instagram. That person was from Spain. And that person gave me some money, it was $100. And from that day, actually it's in euros, she sent euros. From that day I started cooking bigger meals. Because also the kids could come, others, but the food wasn't enough. That's when the organization started. So this friend of mine, it reached a time and she promised like to give 100 every month. So I started like whatever that I got. Also during my education, like I studied medical in medical school. Like we could work in government hospitals, but like as volunteering as we study. Can I call it like internship? Yeah, but some of the patients could appreciate our work and it gives you something. So I could add that one up. And like, so the thing started growing. Then on my way, I met another person, and that person I met was no one else but the one in front of me. Damn Freida. So with her, we started cooking like meals that could feed like more than 30. And it's a wonder that even at this moment, I feed 53 children. So, talking about the growth of like the numbers, like the major worry and my concern is that there are as many as those, and some days I get like the ability to feed them with the support of a few friends and also myself, but some days fail out. But my major concern is that some have meals, but again after the meals, like the way they sleep, you know, they have meals, but I don't have any shelter for them. Like they come, if I get breakfast that day, I may get 2 meals. They eat breakfast, they eat, and after that, everyone moves his way.
Yeah, so they're still in the street. They get the meals.
They get the meals.
But then they don't really have a shelter.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they kind of basically sleep wherever they can because around the village.
Because as I told you, there include orphans, like those who don't have any of their parents, you know? Like some are living with guardians who are not taking enough care of them. Like they have ended up on streets. And some have ended up just like on the roadside, begging every car that comes, begging anyone that passes by. Like, it made me so touched. Like, I felt like my dream was to do something, like to cause smiles to those children. Because for me, with my situation, God helped me and I even completed studies. So I wanted to do something, like to be worthy, like to be important in this world. And I think there is nothing that I can do more than this.
So it became like a passion to you.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been doing this?
As I told you that it started as I was in school and I didn't know that I was like forming it up. But like starting the page as making it like, it was in 2022 in July. That's why when I opened up a page and I got the friend that supported me and like started like cooking bigger meals. And I was so happy that like my dream was being fulfilled at that moment.
And then, so now that you've been doing this for how long?
Like from, it started in 2022.
So for 2 years?
Yeah.
From 2020 to 2022?
Yeah.
2 years. So now how many children?
And right now, the number of children is 53.
53, but then you wind up feeding more than 53 because then the village kids already know what time feeding time comes, so then they come. So what are the challenges of trying, because you also help them with education too. So what are the challenges that you find with, supporting your foundation and getting your 53 kids, to eat every day and possibly get an education? How do you feel, what do you think is going to take to be able to push them through life to a point where, they'll have a better life, that they won't be living in the streets?
So let me begin with the challenges. The number one challenge is that the number is 53, that the number that is fed. The first challenge is that the very number of 53, like sometimes I fail to get a meal in the whole day that they don't feed. Like some days I cook 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, and some days I cook 1 meal, like depending on what I have. Like there is no consistency due to shortage of funds. And also another challenge is that the number is 53, but again, there are many needy children in the place that come mostly at the times of feeding. The number overwhelms that it reaches the time when I'm serving, and some of them miss. And I feel so touched in such situations. And also another issue is shelter. Like it hurts me much that as I manage to feed them sometimes, but again after feeding them, like what comes up next? Someone goes back and sleeps on the streets. So it challenges me much. Like I could dream of some moment like when they have a shelter and they eat and sleep peacefully. Another challenge is like as we support them with education, but like not all. Because I began with the one with education. So, and right now the number has been increasing, because right now they have been 12, but this is a new term. Like even those who have been young have to start school this very term. And so the challenge is that funds for the schooling are not being enough, like feeding them and also schooling, and of which feeding is a priority. That sometimes we end up feeding them and again they went back to school and fees is like not there. So that's also a big challenge, because I could wish a time when they have studied, it gives them a mind that can help them like sustain themselves and like to work and become some better people in life. And also I instill them a thing of like helping others, because after getting educated and doing something developmental, they can also help and like help others in the community. Like the number of street kids can reduce. It's like me, I do this because of what I passed through and because I was helped. Because for me, I didn't have like someone specifically helping me, but as God does big things, I started like sometimes like the village members felt touched and someone like I tell my story to someone and I get helped like in a semester. Then another like semester, also a teacher, because of my performance, they were so touched that I missed schools because of being chased away for fees, and some could help. Yeah. So another question.
So okay, so your struggles are basically like funds to be able to purchase food enough to feed the kids on a daily basis, because it's not consistent.
It's not consistent.
And then the fees for school, because now the other little kids they're growing, so then that adds to the number of the ones that have already been going to school. And then the shelter, because like you said, once you feed them, you don't really, they don't have a roof over their head, they don't have parents, so they stay within the village and just find somewhere to
like even
to sleep.
During the times of preparing meals, like I got a place where I cook from, it's just open. Like most of the times we are attacked by the rains, and we may end up postponing the meal for more 3 hours ahead when it's raining. So that's also a big challenge, like without shelter. I could dream of having like a built kitchen and also shelter.
And so, so moving forward with the kids, what are your dreams, you know, in the future with all these kids? I mean, you know, to build, you know, like a structure where, you know, the kids don't have to eat and run and try to find, because, you know, even as little kids, you know, you get the meal, but then I'm thinking, okay, I'm fed, but now I have to worry about where I'm gonna go to sleep.
Like when the day ends.
And then that interferes with their schooling, their teaching, because, you know, they kind of worry about, you know, okay, now I'll go to school, and then I'll go through the whole, you know, daily routine, but then come at night, like I don't have parents, I don't have a roof over the security, the sense of security. They lack the sense of security. So that kind of impacts, you know, their studies and you know, I don't know, I you know, people that donate can see, you know, the struggles, you know, and I think, like, speaking for myself, you know, when I donate, it makes me feel good because I know I can't help the whole world, but I know I can do something, you know, for someone, you know, and especially children, because they're so vulnerable, they can't really fend for themselves. And so with you running your orphanage, it's kind of like you're the dad, you know, of all these children and stuff. So do you have like GoFundMe links? And I mean, how do you get donations from people that kind of alleviate the challenges of feeding them and having them go to school?
So first of all, before answering your question, I'm going to appreciate you, like, for believing in this job, in this work that we do. Because you saw us on the internet. You didn't know whether we are real, whether what, but you believed in us and it gave some support. And secondly, you decided to have a trip and move all the way from the USA just to come to Africa for our cause. We appreciate that golden heart. May God continue blessing you endlessly. We are so appreciative. So talking of the donations, if anyone wants to donate, like, we need more help, as you've heard, it's through, first of all, it's a GoFundMe page. We have a GoFundMe page, like on my Instagram and all social media platforms. The link is there in our bio. You may also donate, like, through Western Union. You may also use World Remit, and most of the details you can inbox, and, like, I tell you more. We shall be so happy and prayerful when you also bring a change to even one child, because you can even sponsor one child. You can say that I'm going to sponsor you for feeding in a week. You can sponsor us for one day. Like, every penny counts, you know? Even if it's $1 when you can send it in any form, like, it counts. Yeah.
Okay, so we want to thank the viewers for taking the time out to hear Edrisa's story and the challenges that he goes through as an overseer of his foundation with his 53 plus children. The greatest challenge is really for the children to survive is food. You know, if they can be fed on a regular basis and have that consistency, then at least the children will have that security that they know every day they're gonna have a meal. So we thank the viewers, and if anyone is interested in getting involved in this movement with the children. At the bottom of the page, there's going to be links that you can connect to and send funds. And when the funds are sent, you can go into their page, and they actually video what they do with the funds that are sent to them. They'll have videos of them going to the market and purchasing food. They'll put up, they'll have videos of if the kids are going to school and they have to buy school supplies and they're funded for that. You'll see the videos on there. You will see where your money is going, so, take a leap of faith, and reach out and be a part of making a difference in a child's life, because we all work as a team. Where there's unity, there's strength. So we want to thank you for taking the opportunity to listen to Edrisa's story, and we hope that you can get involved. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Yeah, we love you. Bye-bye.